So we'll start with your artist statement here. And your artist statement overall, I think, is really good. The last two sentences, I guess, are what I would consider editing. So here I have images of the morning and autumn. I just think you could say that these are images in the here I have sounds sounds less like it's an artist statement for an overall project. It sounds like it's like for this one time I have this. So I would adjust that. And I'm very passionate to share these images with you and joy. I think you can remove all of that. Um, so this is a series showing the morning autumn in the hill country of Texas. And that answers the question that I've been asking you for the last couple of weeks about whether or not this is just going to be about your California image or just about your Texas images, or if it's going to include the California images as well, if it's going to be a blend of those, if it's about place or if it's more about mood. And reading this, it sounds like it's about place also. So that's good for me to understand what your goals are here. And I put the images in Lightroom in the order that you have them here. You have your artist statement at the end, and I think that's an appropriate place for an artist statement with this series. I also, as I look at this, it gets a little bit tricky for me because I want your first page to be either just on the right side or it possibly could be a spread. But you wouldn't open your book and have these two images on the first page, right? So I always think these are off. Like I should add a page because you'd have a blank page and then these two would be on a page together and these two would be on a page together. So that's a little bit confusing as far as my read of this. And then your cover, it looks like you have, let's make this a little bit smaller. So this is your front cover and this is your back cover. I actually find it a little bit distracting when students have pictures on their covers. I think that it's more appropriate just to have your name or your business name and the title of your series on there. So I would encourage you not to have an image on the cover. Now looking at these images in Lightroom, we have a number of images shot like early morning. They have this foggy atmosphere to them that's really ethereal. We've talked about that before. And then you have some images at the end here that are more based in reality. It doesn't seem like they have that same feeling. So this seems like it's almost taken in the evening. I can see your metadata that it's in the day, but it looks like more of an image that was taken in the evening. And then you have some images that are golden here and here. And then here you're kind of bringing us down the road and there's a lot of clarity to this image. This is more of a straight photograph, as is this image. It doesn't have that moodiness that your first images did. So I would continue to go out and shoot and try to create images that have more of this moodiness that we see here and here, 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 here. Yeah, that's about it for those. So that's what I think you were able to create with the light in your California images. And we haven't seen that transition happen so much here, but we are starting to see it as you're getting these early morning shots. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images that you have that I think have that like wonder to them that we want. And I think this image here could also be in that list of images that have the wonder to them. It's more of a straight photograph, but it starts to fall into that category. So I would continue shooting, trying to capture these images that aren't just documenting the place, but creating a mood, kind of taking us to a different understanding. And I still think it would be okay for you to include your California images or some of those in this series, because I do think those are really strong images. They're way more saturated though, so you'd have to come to an in-between on those and decide if you want these less saturated images or the more saturated images. But creating that mood with your landscape, not just doing this straight photography, I think is really your magic in these images. So I would continue to push that. As you put this in a series, So looking at that book, as I said, it's a little bit tricky, but this seems like it's your first image, and then these two would be on pages facing each other. Or if these two are on the first two pages, then these two images. So something I want you to be aware of is how the horizon lines meet up when you have two images facing each other, because this starts to look more like a large spread, or this could as well. And breaking that up by bringing in an image like having these two paired together works better, or having these two paired together works better, because then we're not comparing that horizon line between two images. So that's something that I want you to be aware of as you move forward.